Hey, welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Wellness. I've got my man Austin here on my right, on your left, and then on my left and your right, I've got Tanner. Tanner, what's going on,
What's
man?
going on, guys? Happy to be here. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, we're here at Tulsa Training on Harvard in Tulsa. Tanner, I actually just kind of saw you on Instagram pop up, and being in the Tulsa metropolitan area, there's not a lot of HYROX love.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like HYROX classes like you see in Dallas or in Houston. All that crap comes up on your email.
Yeah.
So I saw you and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That dude's literally lives right next to one of my good buddies, has a gym right there. So I followed you, and then I was following you guys in Boston a little bit, was kind of checking out everybody doing all the races. And then one thing led to another. We started talking and we actually got to race together in Dallas. I'm happy that we get to have you on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Building the Tulsa HYROX community is fun. We have a few training clubs around, but Tulsa's a place we got to get fit, man. We got to show out for the city. So I'm happy.
Yeah. It's Tulsa, Owasso, and Broken Arrow.
Yes. We have 3 locations here: Tulsa, Owasso. We're right in the heart of Owasso, and then Broken Arrow as well. So
that's awesome. And then how many people do you guys train on our?
Yeah, so we've got a little over 300 clients between the 3 locations, and then like we do some online training as well. So about 400 people that we help out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And before I hand over the mic to you, because I know you're just ready to unload with questions and everything. How did you get this started? And we were just talking a little before we started recording, but tell me about what, your sports upbringing, how you got to owning these gyms, how you got into HYROX, everything.
Yeah. So I guess the place to start is that I was an athlete my whole life. Right. So I played basketball, baseball growing up, which you played baseball, right? So in high school, they told me I was going to have Tommy John. I'm like, man, am I going to have to miss basketball season? They're like, oh yeah, you'll be out. I was like, that's all baseball. So I stuck with basketball, ended up getting a scholarship playing in college. And through my college days, I realized I kind of fell out of love with the sport and realized I actually liked training a lot more.
Yeah.
And I was the skinny kid, right? So I was always trying to put on muscle, put on size. I got pushed around and stuff like that. And through trying to put on muscle, I realized, man, I love this. And I actually like this more than I do sport. And so I started training through college and, just helping family and friends out like that. And that kind of led me to, I actually have a passion for fitness and training. And, through life, found my wife, we got married. We actually built out our garage gym before we had a couch in our house.
Wow.
And people looked at us crazy. We had flooring and turf and, squat rack and dumbbells in there. And they're like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. But we had a vision and, we lived just a mile north of here. This was before we had this gym. I had a job. I was doing some physical therapy stuff. Shiloh was working for the DHS, and we started training people before work, after work, just in our garage. And that was, 7 years ago. And then we found a small gym and we ended up moving our garage to that 1,000 square foot space and just kind of grew organically through there. All of our growth business wise has been through acquisition. So we acquired a gym here. We acquired a gym in Owasso, same with Broken Arrow. And we've kind of just organically grown through time. And here we are today.
Yeah. That's awesome. I know when you said you love training, you love fitness, everything, that is Austin to a T. The dude just loves to train. He loves to talk about training, loves everything and that goes into it. So Austin, I know I'm going to hand over the mic and let you kind of ask some questions.
I feel like I'm going to spontaneously combust over here. It cracks me up. So that was my route was very similar.
Yeah.
Started in a little garage. I'll never forget this. Me and 2 buddies. One of them ended up being my business partner.
Yeah.
I was working for him. He was my youth pastor.
Yeah.
He had a pharmacy. I worked for him at the pharmacy during college. Black Friday, we're like, man, well, we could save money on the gym. We can just put this in your garage. It was Clark. And he was like, cool, let's do it. So we split it, me, him, and another buddy. I had $617 in the account. I spent $500 of it on that. No clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
No clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was married. We were both in college, working 3 jobs, trying to figure out how to do this stuff. But when you love, it's, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it's almost like, I'd assume you had the same thing. You didn't even think of another option.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, well, what about, no, like it was so narrowly, you're like, I have to try to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when it's your purpose and your passion, when they collide, and it's something that God's hand is on in your life. I truly think that there's a blessing on that for you to, I talk to people all the time. It's when you want to do something, you'll find a way. And so that's what you're talking about. We were talking about on our run the other day.
I was just thinking, burn the boats.
Burn the boats. Pack your coffin. There's no plan B. There's, all right, we're going to go all in on this. And you know what? We're going to figure it out. We're going to make mistakes along the way, but this is what we're doing. Yeah.
I love that. That's, we don't know as much about each other.
Yeah.
I try to stalk the page and figure out some more about you guys that way. But I knew you can tell like there's a certain feeling around people like, okay, some of the similar things. You've been through some very similar paths.
Yeah.
You open up with, we put it in our garage or we put it in our house before we had our couch up. Like that's very much relate to that.
Yeah.
I lived in ours for 3 years.
Yeah.
During that time, just traveled.
Yeah.
Learned and learned and learned. I would go meet coaches. The first guy I went to see, he told me, like, the books are good, but if you want to learn this stuff, go.
Yeah.
I feel like I was so impressionable too at that age that he like says that. And I'm like, okay, that's what we got to do. My mom's like, what are you doing? I mean, I'm from a small town, Western Oklahoma. Like, you don't go do anything. Like you sit there and, you go to college and you come back and you start a family and you raise a family. How do you think of anything different?
Yeah.
Very different, very, very different in that aspect.
Yeah.
I'm curious if, feedback from family, friends, as you guys start going on this path, like, are y'all getting some of those same weird things? People like, well, why don't you just do this? This is most people do this route. Why are you doing it?
Yeah. I mean, I will say both my family and Shiloh's family are very supportive in following God's plan on your life. And so I think we had family support. We definitely had questions like, are you sure this? But never like, you need to be doing this. We never put ourselves in a position that we weren't taken care of. As I look back, God's never let us go hungry. We've never been in a position where we're like in crazy debt or anything. We made smart, we assessed risk and we took risk, but it was a smart decision at times. We didn't, I mean, if I look back, I probably wouldn't do some things now that I did then. But we were okay. It wasn't definitely friends. Oh, I mean, people that we grew up with or people looking at us a certain way and then now ask us how we did it. Right. So it's, it's something you can't always listen to what people are saying. You got to follow, what you feel like you're supposed to do in that.
Yeah. That brings up a good point is like Austin and I talked about a lot and we just talked about it with Katie is the reason why I wanted us to have this, just to be able to do this is because we love being around like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Whether it be in person like it is right now, online, or just supporting other people who are chasing the same thing or not even chasing it, but just have the same daily disciplines and integrity on a daily basis. You love to train. You love to train. I love to train. And I said it on the last episode with Katie, but Nick Saban says you shouldn't chase the outcome, chase the process, and you will get that outcome.
100%.
So I think that's awesome that you had some of those friends who are like, oh, and that's with everybody, but you now you're around the right people who support you and you lift them up, they lift you up, so on and so forth.
I think when I was in college, something radically changed my life. There's a book by a good friend of mine now named Jamie Gilbert and Joshua Metcalf called Burn Your Goals. And it talks about, getting rid of outcome-based goals and thinking and focusing on the process. And that radically changed my life because as an athlete, my whole time, it's like, okay, I got to get this scholarship. I got to score this many points. My identity's got to be tied to my performance, all these things, rather than focusing, okay, if I want to achieve those things, what's the process to get there? What's within my control?
Yeah.
And that has become, how I live my life and everything I do. Okay. It's not necessarily, I don't want to also limit myself by setting this goal. What if I could achieve more? What if there's more that God has for us in this area? Yeah. So it's all right. What can I do today that's within my control that sets me up to become the person I want to be tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And that kind of leads me into, you've got the gym started, kind of told us how you got to this point. Why HYROX?
Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. 15,000 people just competed in Dallas, over 15,000 finishers.
Yeah.
Last year, same month, same week, 5,000.
Yep.
It's grown so much. So how did you get into HYROX and why HYROX?
Yeah. I think for me, there, one of our trainers on staff, her name's Kyra. She had done one back in 23, I believe it was. And, so we had some people in our community that did a couple. I didn't really think anything of it. I swore after I played college basketball, I'm like, I'm done running. Like, dude, I'm good. I just want to, get my big 3 lifts as high as I can, feel strong. And, I've always done, aerobic stuff, whether it be rowing or skiing, whatever. But I was like, I'm good on the running. I ran cross country growing up. I was a very good runner, like in college. I mean, I'd be running sub 5-minute miles after practice, like fast, but I'm like, I'm good. I'm all set. I had my time. So, kind of knew what HYROX was, but I was like, I don't really want to run. Like I never signed up for 5Ks. That's not what I'm doing. I'm good. And then this tells you a lot about who I am. Somebody kind of told me I wouldn't do too well. And I was like,
the same problem.
I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just going to do it in the gym and show you that I can do pretty good. And this was 0 training on a whim in August of 2024. Now we don't have the rock zone here, but I did a 108 pro just like on a whim. I was like, so that was like probably like a 113, 115 at the event. I'm like, okay, I didn't even train. What if I trained for this? And it kind of, doing that workout lit a fire under me, because I also realized I have some holes in my fitness. Like, oh, I'm not as fit as I thought I, am in this arena. So it kind of started with like a dare or somebody not believing in me. And then I realized, oh, I actually kind of like this style of training. Then I realized you could do it with a partner. So we were able to get some of us together, and I was like, oh, I could do this with my wife. I could train with her. She was doing 15Ks, 25Ks. She loves running. She played college soccer. She's always asking me to run and stuff. I'm like, let's just lift. And I realized, okay, I kind of like this a little bit. It's something fresh. It's something new. Probably the last 8 years, I didn't really have a specific event to train for. I realized I like that. And then I also realized for a lot of our community, having that thing on the calendar really helps them. Okay, here in March, I'm going to be doing this event. It helps me realize, it's like we're talking about the process. Oh, I got to lock in, boom, 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 to get there. And so building a community as well as doing it for myself, I think has been the biggest thing. You said down in Dallas, 15,000, we were able to take about 60 of us from our community down. Wow. And so, I have some personal goals within HYROX that I want to see come to fruition that I'm working on, but also I think why HYROX, I would say for the community that it's been able to build. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
That was like just going down there. That was my first time Dallas going to see Gabe race down there. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even whenever you reach out for, it's like, oh, I'd like fizzle out, like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing as you. I had a buddy who was like, hey, you just need to pick something and go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of doing a lot of different stuff. Had done CrossFit, had done this, had done power, had done a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to pick something. And I was like, well, I'm going to do multiply powerlifting. Like nobody even knows what that is.
Yeah.
You put on the squat suit and shirts and like, you're going to go try to, squat 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, that sounds great. Let's do it. I was just really curious about West Side Barbell stuff at the time. And I did it. I would travel every month to Cincinnati once or twice a month, make the drive up, make the drive back. So I could go learn how to use this gear. I didn't know how you squat in a suit and all this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But I noticed in that you find the process. There's more. It's not to say that we don't already have purpose. We know our purpose on here as believers. Like we get that.
Yeah.
But there is something to it. I almost think that there's a spiritual aspect of it, to be honest. Like it lights up something within you. It's not like anything out here changed.
Yeah.
Something inside clicks and you're like, wow, having this event actually does give me meaning behind XYZ, which then obviously over time, as you get harder and harder, and it like opens you up to like, okay, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And you get deeper and deeper and deeper into those whys. I think suffering brings about a lot of stuff.
Oh, 100%. I think another aspect of HYROX that's cool for people to stay committed to it is that you get to see your progress. One of the things, CrossFit is great for what it is, but a lot of times it's constantly varied too much that you don't get to see progress consistently. And so even in like the training for HYROX, you can see your heart rate in certain workouts improvement, and you can see, oh, I'm actually able to do this movement more efficiently. Oh, my running has improved this way. My threshold is this now. And so I think that consistent progress is fun. I think the travel is pretty cool with HYROX. So they're doing I saw a thing, over 1 million people are going to compete in HYROX this year. And so the sport started in 2017 and here in 8 years, they're going to grow. They're going to do like 500 million in revenue. Yeah. Started in Germany, 2017, and it's just exploded. Social media has a huge part to play with that. But yeah, over 1 million people competing, and they're going to do over 500 million in revenue.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make it.
Yeah.
No way.
That's the ultimate goal. So one of the co-founders was an Olympic, I believe, field hockey player. Yeah. I could be wrong on that.
But I have such a hot take on that. I don't think it should be an Olympic sport. No offense. No offense to anyone in the HYROX, but the skill component, what separates almost every single thing in Olympics. And I get that there's other things that aren't. You're like, but running is a skill. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I get it. Like CrossFit, for example, could never be an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
There's certain aspects, yes and no.
Yeah,
yes and no.
I agree.
I love it. But let me ask you this. So a lot of people who, and not to get off on a tangent here, but a lot of the training ideologies that come into HYROX actually come from things like cross-country skiing.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys, where's the skill? The skill is in moving and how you move through space on the cross-country skiing, right? But who can suffer the best for the longest? It's the same thing in HYROX. Who can suffer the best for the longest?
Yeah.
And there's different modalities involved. We were just talking about it. Strength, like people like Jack Driscoll or Hunter McIntyre, the way they can move sleds more efficiently than other people, it just, there is a skill component involved.
Yeah.
We were talking about it. What's his name? Tim Vinish.
Yeah.
The way he can just come out of
shoot out of a
cannon right from the start, but he's not a big guy. He's not very strong, but he somehow won a world title. So I think I love your hot take, but that's kind of where I come from.
I mean, if we want to go down this road of the Olympic sport, like the marathon's in the Olympics and anybody can sign up for a marathon. So there is that. It's anybody can sign up for HYROX, and like the barrier to entry is pretty low. Like there's not a lot of skill. And it really, like, if you think of CrossFit with Olympic lifting, like a lot of the gymnastics, those things take a ton of time to learn. But in HYROX, it's like, you could learn, somebody could show you how to do a burpee at the beginning of the race, and then you know how to do it. Like pushing a sled's pretty easy. Like you're not going to be as efficient, right? But the skill aspect isn't as big. Same with like running. Like it's a skill, but like anybody can just go out there and run. I think with the Olympic sport, it's going to be very hard to have the standard the same. That's going to be really tough.
So part of that, and people talk about that all the time, the standard, like people have issues that, you have judges that see things differently. Like Rich Ryan has issues with burpee broad jumps for some reason in the majors. I was seeing, and you competed in Chicago and in Dallas. So you have firsthand knowledge. I don't know if you knew this. They say the sleds were far better in Chicago compared to Dallas. A ton of people had issues in Dallas because of how the turf was rippling and stuff like that. Can you speak to that?
So I can speak to it. It has to do some with how the concrete in the arena is. Like if it has imperfections in it, the tape will stick different to the flooring. I think that's a huge aspect. But the other thing that people don't talk about, as a gym owner, I know this, how old a sled is and how new a sled is. So newer center sleds, it's like they're on ice. I mean, I could put 2,000 pounds on it and it feels like open weight. Like we get new sleds and it's like, okay, we can't use that one or we got to break it in. And then the older sleds, it's like the bottoms have been used a little bit more and it's like, those are tough to push. And so I think that is a huge issue, because they're bringing these sleds from Chicago down to Dallas, or they're shipping them around. So how do they ensure that the integrity of the bottom of the sled is the same event to event? And I don't know how they're going to do that. They've got a lot to figure out with that. And I'm glad I'm not involved in that.
Even as I hear you saying, like immediately in my head, it's like sports strategy. Like just have everybody train on really terrible sleds.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, which I know I'm like, you probably do train on the worst sled you can pick most of the time.
You haven't had the opportunity to, but our turf here, pro weight is like, I mean, it's probably like 15%, 20% harder. Yeah. But that's good because we get to the event and we're like, oh, cake.
That's how it should be. Yeah. There's it's funny, like, stand down the rabbit trail of like HYROX as an Olympic sport and this, that, and the other. I was talking with one of my biggest mentors named Shane Sweat, big West Side Barbell World, bad end of things. It's worked with, I'll just say, is master strength coach. He's accomplished, whether it be bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit champions, beach volleyball, X Games. Like, I mean, it's so over the plethora of things. Like usually as a coach, you're really good at one thing. He's been a master of it, multiple things, which is crazy to see. I was talking to him yesterday about some things and he'd mentioned HYROX, he back in the day with Castro, Shane would always say, is like, maybe the sport would grow better if we had more of a standardized approach to this. And here now we're seeing HYROX as quote unquote kind of that standardized approach.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're training for.
Mm-hmm.
You know if you got better at it.
Yeah.
One of the most motivating things, intrinsic motivation. Progress is addicting.
Yeah.
When you're having progress in training, imagine you guys notice this as well. Everything else kind of goes well too.
Yeah.
When you're struggling in training something, you got to start like, what's going on? What I need to fix? Like, oh, we had this and this come up. Oh, I should probably adjust this over here. Like, it forces you to have to really, like, we want to make progress.
Yeah.
It isn't fun when we're not making progress.
Yeah. That, I mean, you look at the times in, I mean, just a couple of years ago of people's, the top level finish times in HYROX are like,
man,
dude, if we would have got started in 2020, it's like, oh, our times would have been elite. And then it's like, now it's like, oh, we're not even close. It's just how much like people, how fit people are is insane. Yeah.
Well, I like that. I think it's crazy.
So you guys are both, I'm newer to the training world. Like this is what I'm doing. I'm training to become a nutritionist. And I want to get into this space more. I feel like I've really found something that I love to do, but I love hearing ideologies from different places. I know where you come from, conjugate based system. You're pulling different levers at different times throughout the season and maximizing, not having to go to take these consistent deloads, or you have to prioritize one over the other, periodically. I'm interested. I want you to explain that, but I'm interested to see what your ideology is for, let's just say, I came in, or like someone came in and they're like, right. Yeah. How do you assess an individual who wants to come in? Let's just stick with the HYROX.
Yeah.
How do you assess an individual comes in? I want to do HYROX. What do you start? What do you do to train?
Yeah, I think so. This like is going to get into a deeper talk based on like what we prioritize here. I would call our gyms functional bodybuilding gyms. So we're not typically putting people on the stage in a bodybuilding competition, but everybody wants to look good. So we're adding the muscle, but then we work with people that are just trying to be healthy for their family and, not have their back hurt when they move around. If they want to sign up for HYROX, they could, but they want to be able to throw their grandkids up in the air one day, that type of stuff. So that, that's, if you guys know Marcus Philly.
Wait, you don't have to do like a ton of snatches and cleans and stuff for that?
Are you sure?
Come on.
But yeah, Marcus Philly, former CrossFit Games athlete, is kind of his style, right? And so we found people feel good during that style training. So to get into HYROX, when people are getting a little bit more specific, we kind of assess what their background is. I think if you look at HYROX, people either have an endurance background or a strength background. And so a lot of the people that we work with, we have some clients that were, cross country runners in college or ran track in college, and great. They're usually better start off than the strength people. But we kind of put people into two buckets with that. And then from there, it's similar maybe to periodization of certain, all right, we're going to focus on this for a time or this for a time. But it all depends on what their goals within HYROX are as well. We have most of our people, the goal is to be the best version of themselves and finish the best that they can. It's not necessarily like myself qualify for worlds or I got to get this placing in my age group. For most people, it's like, can I even complete it? And are you sure I can do this? And so from there, it's like, okay, we have to get you fit enough to be able to move for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. We have to get your aerobic base to where you can actually do this. So I think that from our standpoint, we're coaching the everyday HYROXer rather than the elite level. We do have an elite level group, and shout out to Johnny, my partner in Broken Arrow there. He kind of heads up coaching our elite level group. We probably have about 15 of us that are.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
It's like I would say like, time, talents, treasures. Like, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help it.
Yeah.
Like, I have to stop to like turn it off.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Like, so John, he just had he's 34. He's my, partner, and we play college basketball together, everything. Deadlifts almost 700 pounds, super strong guy, 34 years old. He just had his hip replaced last week. Yeah.
Wow.
And so he is in a season right now. He would be competing in HYROX if he was healthy. but he had to take a step back. And so he's kind of gone all in on the coaching side of things where, I can't do it, but I can put my skills and things to use in this way. So he is just like you. I mean, he gets into the weeds on things, and he's up in the middle of the night. Oh yeah.
Out of rehab.
Once he rehabs, he's going to spend a year running. We've already talked about it. He's ready. But yeah, so he's in the okay, here's how can we do it? Boom. Okay, so like one thing, he coaches a lot of ladies. So his wife, really fit. So her and another girl will probably qualify for Worlds in Vegas in pro doubles. They're super fit. She played college basketball. The other girl ran track or cross country in college. Anyways, one thing we've noticed with the females that are super fit and fast on like wall balls, for example, this is getting in the weeds. They fatigue, not with their legs, but their shoulders.
Saw them doing that next.
Yeah, because typically females don't have strong upper bodies and they don't work it. They don't want to, this. And so it's like, oh, I actually got to build my shoulder strength and endurance up so that in this specific part of the race, I have the muscular endurance to be able to perform at a high level. Right.
Good question on this one.
Yeah.
So, throwers are one of like Olympic level throwers.
Yeah.
They're one of the people that have like the strongest overhead presses.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do to build their overhead press?
I don't know.
Close grip bench and incline.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Yeah.
Close grip bench and incline.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Unless I was listening to Meg Jacoby last night, and she's like, they're talking, and she loves sets 8, 10, 20. Like, but if you'll just keep it at sets 3, 4, 5, like 6 even, you're not going to get bulky from it.
Well,
you're
that's
just going to get strong.
That's the other thing. Like people think they touch a weight and they're going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm trying.
Dude, I've been trying my whole life.
I wish it was that easy.
Like
maybe that's the trick. Maybe we just have to think that's how it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that is.
Yeah.
Or it's an advanced belief. It's pushing you forward. If I just do one set, I'm going to grow from it.
Yeah. I think I'm missing a couple supplements, maybe, but
a few. Just a few.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I love getting into the weeds and nuts and bolts of things. It's good.
That's like, it's been really weird. Like Gabe's stuff. We've done things really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so my background was sport performance.
Mm-hmm.
So like, baseball, I got to work in 5 different pro sports, all very different, but you see patterns and trends.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right way to do things and there's no wrong way to do things. There's a way that'll work. And then at some point that way's not going to work. And you have to find a new thing, whether that's a new exercise, a new conglomeration of how much fatigue you can take. Is there something we can do on the recovery back end? That push? Like, I mean, you have so many variables. You're married, you guys have kids, you're running gyms. Like it's not just, there's a lot more to it when you throw all the things in and really
100%.
start using these things. I mean, just from an outside perspective too, like, you guys don't just do it to like do it. Like it really does provide value to your lives, and you want that for other people as well. I mean, same.
Yeah.
It's very same heart behind it. Hey, this did something to change me. Cool. I think this will help you too.
100%. Hey, yeah. I love that with the training, like you said, there's no one way. There's different levers that we can pull to see, okay, I'm in this, I'm pull this. We did like a 14-week endurance block where my volume on running was higher than it had ever been this summer. And I love that block.
No way. I bet you got better as a runner.
Dude, that's the thing. So I was listening to Ryan Kent and Colin Steifer and Jack, that podcast talked. Yeah. So they were talking about the running volume, where they're at. And I heard somebody, this was a business podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about, if you want to have what somebody has, don't look at what they have, look at what they did to get there. And so, okay, if I want to be elite in the sport, what are the guys that are elite doing? Okay, let's just look at that. Well, my running volume is between 25 to 35 a week. I listen to those guys talk and they're like, man, I'm low. I'm only doing 50. And Colin was doing 70 right now. And it's like, okay, then I have to ask myself, and I've talked to John about this a ton. Is that what I want? Like, do I actually want to be elite, or do I like the idea of
Is that the only way to get there too?
Yeah, that's the other question, right?
Wait for some more years. Roger Bannister, first under 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
All he believed in was intensity.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody was doing mileage back then.
Yeah.
He did something different. If you want something different, oftentimes you got to do something different.
That's true. Yeah.
Go away from where the masses go.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Well, so that brings up a good point. And so another elite guy, Ronkovich, he doesn't his volume is not insanely high.
Yeah.
His intensity is high.
Yeah.
But he's able to recover from the intensity. And he won the worlds a couple
24.
You have to have a volume first.
That's the point I was going to make. So he's got the aerobic background. I think like you can't get away from not having an aerobic base in this sport.
Yes.
Like you can't be like, okay, you know, I can run a 1K and 220, so I should win.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can't. The intensity has to be on the right things.
Yep.
Or else it's not going to, you know, translate over.
Right.
You can't just be like, well, my intensity is really high on my barbell bench. I should be able to win HYROX. Like it's like, no, it's different. Right. But yeah, I think the volume on the aerobic side, I did not have. And so I'm extremely fit. You know, my lifts are strong. I can do, 50 cals in under a minute on the Echo bike. It's like, let's go HYROX. And then you get 20 minutes in and you're like, oh, this is no longer anaerobic.
Yeah.
My lactate threshold I've been in zone 5 for the whole time. And now I'm trying to push and I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't built my aerobic base.
Yep.
I don't have the volume there. Okay. How do we do this? Right.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point too, that you bring up in that. And it's like every road, there's a lot of roads that eventually lead to Rome. It's just, there's different times for different things. Like you said, if someone doesn't have the base already built, you're probably going to have to go do some steady state stuff. Like sit on your rower, sit on your erg, go put in your miles. Like, I mean, I started with run walk.
Yeah.
I've been up to 233 pounds. Like I don't like to stay smaller.
Yeah.
Like I come from a background of powerlifting. Like, under 200 pounds of me is little. Yeah. Like you don't do that. You go get as big as you can to lift as big of a weight as you can. Yeah. It's very opposite in my head, but I feel really good. The lighter I get, your recoverability goes up. Yeah. So even you'd mentioned the females earlier and we talked, well, they won't get bulky. Have some bench presses, that, the other. Same time with them, I've always found this fascinating. The lighter the individual and or if they're male, female, the more volume they can take on. Yeah. I've seen that every time with the girls. I mean, think about it. They're built to have babies. Yeah. Like you've seen your wife go through stuff. You're like, I don't know how you did that. Yeah. Hey, power to you. And it's just like, that same physiological state they get training to. Yeah. I think it's one of the, like you can there's so many manipulations you can make. Yeah. If you go put in 70 miles a week, is that swap worth it? That's the thing too. I think like you said, you have to find what volume works for you. You have to find what pieces work for you. There's so many variables. Like if you look at the just Elite 15, how many of them are married with kids and have 3 businesses and do these things? Like I was talking to somebody the other day and I was like, yes, like if I sacrificed X, Y, and Z, I have no doubt I could be at that level. But I also have 529 set up for my kids in Roth and I'm doing payroll and I'm doing this. It's like, I'm not trying to like say they don't know what they're doing, but they have different focuses and passions and things. So, and I'm not using that as an excuse to not be the best version of myself. I still want to do that. You're still chasing that, but it's going the best for yourself doesn't necessarily mean
world champion. Yeah. And I think, to be a world champion, you have to be a psycho. Yeah. You have to be completely locked in. Like you look at anybody, like I'm Mamba mentality to the core, right? So you look at Kobe, it's like he is so locked in and you can't tell him anything different. Yep. Right. So
I'm a Kobe guy too, man. I'm the same way. And I think that's a really good point. And what we've talked about is we want to help people be the best version of themselves, whatever that looks like. And you've already talked about it. You want to help the everyday person. You can help the elites and they'll come in, you'll get some good people, but you just want people to show up as their best selves. You want them to be confident. Mm-hmm. You want them to have energy. You want them to just feel good. Yeah. Right. That's all you want to do.
So are you doing a HYROX? Nice. Let's go.
Legit. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm out on this. So yeah, I'm going to go put up a 65. How we don't know. That could be completely wrong. I've got to deconstruct every single aspect of my training. Yeah. I'll lift weights once or twice a week. Yeah. Literally, like I'm also want to do a powerlifting meet this year and I want to put up a 450 dots. And it's like, okay, well, how much can we sacrifice? What's the least that I can get? What's the most I can get from the least? Yeah. I figured out with like deadlifting, you don't ever have to deadlift in your deadlift state. It's such a fatigue off of it. Yeah. You can do some good mornings, carry around a heavy bag, pull some sleds. Like you don't really have to do much. Yeah. They go a little hard, but so that lift is easy. It's like, okay, well, if that's taken care of, all you have to think about is a squat and bench. Yeah. What do you need to do? How much volume does it take? Yeah. It only really takes like 1 day a week for each. Yeah. At least hold or slightly marginal gains on that. Yeah. But Like, realistically, if I like was to go to a HYROX right now, I honestly like an hour 15 to an hour 17.
Yeah.
65 is very like everything went perfect in this world. I'm extremely happy just to get through it and be like, hey, I did what I needed to in my preparation. Like, did we do the 4 non-negotiables through the day for the preparation period? Yes. So with our new baby, how many times have I been in my sauna?
Yeah.
It's not happening. I can choose that, but I'm also, it's like, if I go do that, am I going to sit here and hold her at night and get that time?
Yeah.
Which one do I want more? Everything's a swap. Everything's a swap.
Yep. Everything. Like, not ideal, but the reality of owning 3 businesses, there's been 2 nights this week that I got 3 hours of sleep because of stuff we were expanding, and I'm working on this, and I got kids, and so that is a piece that I have to, I'm not saying that to make excuses by any means. I asked to wear the crown, and it's part of what comes with it.
Yeah.
Heavy as a crown, right? But that's just the variables that I have to balance and find out, okay, how do I balance this, and how do I go from there? And then, like we're saying, become the best version of myself. So in that, my goal this season that I set out is I wanted to qualify for World Championships. My wife and I were able to do that in Chicago.
Yep.
We did a 59:31. We got 5 minutes faster. My wife is legit. If we would have done Dallas, we would have got 11th in our age group.
Really?
Yeah. So like, I'm not saying that like, oh, we just skirted by, but there's a little bit of luck involved. I'm also not, so I've done 8 races this year. I'm not ignorant to how fit people are. And yeah. I think my volume is higher in the week. So, like
talking about logistics.
Logistics.
And checking with everybody. This location.
Yeah. I mean, it takes an army. Tell you that. It takes an army for sure. So yeah, that's it. Without the team we have, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Something, not to go totally off topic, but like in Europe, they were talking about on the podcast is Europe races far more often throughout the year. The US, it's all crammed into the fall, and it's crammed into a couple races in the spring. Like, whereas Europe, they're just every weekend in Europe. And if like, let's just say you live in London, you're literally a 3-hour plane ride away from
somewhere,
any race you could want every weekend. Whereas like someone like who lives in the Northeast, they're literally to go to Anaheim, that's a 7-hour flight, 6-hour flight. So, or Vancouver or whatever, like people got to travel so far and they jam them all together, and it's expensive to travel and do all that. So that's so kudos to you, man.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason too, that I think I'm doing so many is I am very, what's the term? Hyperfixation. I like get so hyperfixated on what I'm doing. And I feel like right now the HYROX wave is going, and I'm like, let's just get on it and see what happens. I don't know that I'll be doing this in 10 years, but I do know that right now I'm having fun with it and I'm enjoying it. So my thought is, okay, if I have the ability to, and it makes sense, let's gain all the experience I can, because in my eyes, each race that I do, I'm going to learn something. Every opportunity is, I would love to say I'm going to set my PR every single race. And I've been able to do that because it's the beginning sometimes, but I've had a couple bad races. And each time I do that, it's a learning experience. And there's something that I learn from it that makes me a better coach, makes me a better athlete. And so, if my one goal was to just make this all about me and get the best time, I probably wouldn't do as many races. But I think I have a bigger purpose than just being the best in the world. Right. I mean, it's long, but we can do whatever. I'm good.
What do we got?
155 is feel like
I'm good on time.
Sweet. Curious.
Do a Rogan 3-hour pod.
So I'd said whenever I said, I was like, man, I've just been so emotional with baby and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, as I was pulling up today, like I told you, like when we lived in Tulsa, I just did not have a great experience. That was in the midst of, it was my second time away from our gym running it remotely. I'd gone back to Bible college. Me and my wife had just gotten married. Like there are so many variables. And then I'd have to be gone 3 to 4 nights a week. And go stay at the gym and stay back over at that place, and like coming back and forth and here and there. And it was, I even remember like training when I was up here, like everything was by myself. I didn't talk to anybody. I would see people at school. I didn't have the relationship. All I'm thinking about is training and what I need to do and how we're going to do the next level of this business. And I couldn't slow down long enough to actually appreciate anything that was going on. Question for you on that. How do you think endurance training actually psychologically helps people rewire that? I guess better background for me. Dad was a drug dealer, mom was a stripper.
Yeah.
Like my life is,
Yeah.
I've lived on golf course and I've lived in government housing.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of everything. How do you think endurance is something that can actually help people be able to settle themselves?
Yeah, I think so. I think the settling aspect is because there's really no way out. If you're in a 10-mile run and you're 2 miles in,
You can't go anywhere.
where are you going? Right. So I think for a lot of people like that have had addiction or grew up in trauma situations or whatnot, it does offer that steadiness.
Yeah.
That I think is good. And I think it's, good to be with your thoughts and be present in the moment that you're in and feel your heart rate, feel your muscles, and so I think it doesn't necessarily have to be just running. It doesn't have to be just rowing. It doesn't have to be just biking. It could be a combination of those things, but I do think doing something that's hard for an extended period of time does do that for people for sure.
That's,
Yeah.
I've had friends that ask for the last couple of years, man, what changed?
Yeah.
I mean, powerlifting is very explosive. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, literally you're the people who perform the best eventually get hurt, but at some point they're just fully on fight or flight 24/7, especially when you start looking at the supplemental side of things and this, that, and the other, like wild.
Yeah.
Training with, I did a bike race. Me and a buddy, we did a 100-mile bike race 3 years ago. We were like, let's do something hard. And he's like, finds the harder than hell 100. He's like, neither one of us have a bike there in mind at that time. We trained most of it on a C2 biker. He rode on a bike 2 sizes too small. Mine was a size or two too small. It was the worst experience of our lives, but yet we got done and we looked at each other and we're like, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
And this was our 3rd year. We're getting ready for 4th year. Like I noticed that was the start though for me of like, I really had to sit there. Like you can't go anywhere.
No.
And I felt like that started a process almost like, at least for me, it's like I started to quiet down enough with the body that I could hear other things on a spiritual side that I couldn't when the body had so much noise to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. And I think there's times that like the music changes that I listen to during these long aerobic sessions. And I do think like, sometimes I'll be like hardcore metal and I can't hear anything. So that doesn't allow me the time to be present with my thoughts because it's all just out. But there's sometimes that it's like lo-fi. Sometimes it's a podcast. Sometimes I'm just listening to worship. I'm just present and, able to, listen to on the inside. I'm able to pray. I'm able to just be present. So I think that's good.
We've done a lot of, blame this on one of my coaches, Gabe's learning from me right now too, Matt Hodges. He had me run with a metronome, 172 beats per minute. You just leave it there.
Yep.
Still all I listen to. Over and over and over and over. Me and my dog would just get outside and I love it. I mean, it fully has forced just down there.
For sure.
It's interesting. I was just curious on your take.
Yeah, no.
You'd come from basketball and other backgrounds too.
I think a lot of my background has been loud, like not, you just do it. You just do it. You don't even think. But so endurance, you have to slow down to get better. For a long time, it's like it was so hard for me to run in zone 2 when I first got started because I'm like, oh, every mile I'd ever run was to run as hard as I possibly can to get it done.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you look at the Elite 15, there's some of them that are faster than me, but my like top end mile is pretty comparable to a lot of them. But like if we go run for 10 miles, like I can't hold that pace for that long because I'm in zone 5 the whole time. So I've had to like rewire, oh, wait a minute, I have to go slow to go fast. It's like Lightning McQueen. Turn right to go left. Yeah. So I mean, that is opened a whole new world for me for sure.
That's such a great point. You were hitting on it earlier. Just a year ago today, I'd say I was doing 30-minute walk runs, right? Like a year ago today, I was running for 90 seconds, walking for 30. And then I worked up to 2 minutes and walking for 30 seconds. It's incredible what happens when you slow down to go fast. And even now, like the other day, we went on that 10K run at Riverside. Your heart rate was 144.
Yeah.
Mine was at a 152. I know, but
I mean, so this, like you're saying, this time last year, my zone 2 to keep my heart rate, I was doing the Mac 180 method. So taking 180 and subtracting my age. So basically I was trying to keep my heart rate under 150 for the entire hour or entire 7 miles or whatever. And last year I was running at 10 mile or above pace, which is like, 6 something 1K pace. And now I can run between 7:30 and 8 at the same heart rate. But it's been a year of building the base. And it's like, okay, well, I look at Rich Ryan, Cole Learn, somebody who's just cracked in the Elite 15, and they're running 4:30 pace and their heart rate's in the 120s.
Yep.
But if they go back 3 years, they were doing this. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you can't compare your year 1 to somebody's year 5, but look at the progress you've made and stay pounding the stone, stay chop wood, carry wood. Like, you just have to keep doing the thing.
Yeah. It's so much fun, like seeing it that way,
Yeah.
having perspective to say, okay, like just focus on the process. Like I
Yeah.
was saying earlier, Nick Saban, just be focused on what you can do on a daily basis. Like even yesterday, I got all these life stresses. I'm getting married in 9 days
Get it.
as of today. But like, you know, as we're doing all this wedding stuff, I'm writing my vows. Like, I'm like, I've got a lot of life stuff going on and getting the house ready for different things. And my training just hasn't been there.
Mhm.
My heart rate's elevated. I'm just kind of tired throughout the day, but like,
Yeah.
you know, but that's life. But it gives me perspective. I'm like, okay, man, chill out. You're not going to be this like linear progression. It's all,
No.
it's ebbs and flows, but you constantly go up. You're just up and down, up and down.
Yeah. And that's why you have to have perspective and look at, you know, your progress in time and not just the day by day.
Yeah.
And so many people, you know, and what we do in helping people on a day-to-day basis is like change their mindset, because anybody can do a hard workout once. But it's like, okay, how consistent can you be with that? You can't. So maybe let's back the intensity off and be consistent for 3 months. Maybe let's be consistent for 6 months. What if you were consistent for 3 years? What person would you be in 3 years?
I would just fitness.
Everything.
It carries over.
It's the same
It's all the
principles.
same,
Yeah, for sure. So I love it.
I love the fact you brought up Joshua Metcalf.
Mhm.
That was when I was like, yeah, I did not have fun time when I was in Tulsa last time. That was whenever I was like, I think I was just in so much like, what the heck's going on in my life? What am I doing? So
Mhm.
much just questioning.
Yeah.
Jason Nussbaum over at Victory gave me, I want to say it was Jason who said chop wood, carry water.
Chop wood, carry water. Yep.
And that led me down the list. And like, I found the book list that Joshua has listed. And
Mhm.
I haven't read them all.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. That's
Yeah.
it. That is an epic list.
Yeah.
But phenomenal
Yeah.
tools. I think all of it is just, I mean, baseball, most of it's, I would say, mental. A good majority, like, yeah, you have the skill, this, that, the other, but a big majority is mental. I feel like HYROX as a whole, business, fatherhood, yeah, you can have all the skills, but there is a component that is just mental.
Yeah. I mean, the mind is so powerful. And I think you said limiting belief, like we are capable of so much more than we think. And it all starts with what you believe in your mind. And like, so that chop wood, carry water, for example, it's like doing the mundane. There's a quote Joshua Metcalf has that I just use. It was, you don't shine under the bright lights reveal the work you've done in the dark. And I'm like, I love that so much, because it's like people think that you just rise to the occasion, and it's like, no, you fall to your habits.
Mm-hmm.
You fall to what you've been doing.
But don't tell us that. That makes you have like an autonomy on this. Don't. Surely it can't be that way.
Yeah, I mean,
My choices matter.
Yeah, they do. Isn't that crazy? And so like that's the thing we get to, like with where you're at in life. It's like, okay, you've got all these different things going on, but it's like you can still control what's within your control and have the right perspective on that. So many people, it's like, oh, I have this going on, so I'm just going to go through this fast food and eat this, and then I'm just going to do this and do that, and then they live in this like yo-yo constantly. And it's like, no, you have stress, cool, back off the intensity, back off the volume, control what you can control, eat well, you may not get as much sleep, all good, it's not forever, and just keep going. Yeah.
Show up to the next day.
Yeah.
Show up to the next day. And show up to the next day. That's it. Can you stay in it?
Yeah.
I really feel like that's really the true. I think that's why I like HYROX as a whole for people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, a lot of my friends are bodybuilding backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's more like, and it's like, if you could learn how to relax.
Yeah.
And so using things like an hour worth of steady state cardio for those people, an hour on the Stairmaster, an hour incline walk, like still general principles that are happening in the HYROX world.
Mm-hmm.
But when we really start looking at it from a psychological perspective, how can we help this person be more relaxed, more at ease?
Yeah.
All you're doing then is enhancing their digestion. Now you're giving them a buffer whenever sleep isn't there. Can I stay steady? Is my brain, if I'm usually tuned to a 10, am I now more tuned to a 6 or 7? So whenever X problem happens up, like the ticket coming here, Gabe hears me the first 10 minutes and he's like, I bet after those 10 minutes, he's probably good. Yeah. But I mean, at first it's like,
yeah,
I need that bandwidth though. I want to be able to get that where there's no minutes. I want to get it where it's like, it happens, cool, rock and roll, boom, move on.
Yeah.
And there's some times we get there, but I want to be able to do that even if you're at, quote unquote worst. that we can be.
That's good. I mean, and it starts with your belief in your mind, right? Like, being able to focus on being present and understanding that, all right, whatever happens to me, it's an opportunity to learn and to grow. I use the example with people all the time of like, if your flight gets canceled in the airport, why are you yelling at the person behind the counter?
Yeah.
Like, what do they have to do? They can't control. Okay, wait a minute. Here's an opportunity to work on my patience. Here's an opportunity to work when I'm frustrated. How do I treat the people around me? And that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't think I was going too fast. I actually was going slow.
Flow of traffic is what you told.
The thing that I think I love about HYROX too is in the training, I think each day gives you an opportunity to secure a win. And that's mentally, that's physically. And I think a lot of times it can be done in bodybuilding. It can be done in different ways, but HYROX specifically, like today I had so many life stresses going on. I'm like mentally thinking if I should, pull back on this workout or whatever. And I'm like, no, just do it. I actually had a PR in my heart rate on this workout. I had some times that I hadn't really hit and I wasn't like pushing super hard, but I got the win in my mind for not changing and not backing off. And I also had a PR in my performance as well. And I finished that. I'm like, thank God I did that. But it's like each day and the programming, whether you're an elite athlete or you're the everyday person that's just doing 2 or 3 workouts a week, it's like you find the win. And when you complete it, you get the win. And it's like, okay, this sets me up. Now I can do this on my job. There's stuff that I don't want to do on my job, but I need to do it. Okay, how can I get that win? Well, I already learned how to do it in training. Okay, I have stuff in my family that I do not want to do. I don't want to get up when my kid gets up and get them water, even though there's what. Anyways, that's personal. But I've done it in training. Dude, can you go oh my. But what? You've done the win in training, so you're like, I just do it. And so I think that's HYROX has offered that for me and our community.
Big time. The wins in training, we've talked a lot about building fitness and how being in that mentality or that mundaneness of just consistently stacking bricks constantly. I can personally attest to, I kind of want to pivot it kind of towards the tail end of this conversation is nutrition. So right now, this morning I weighed 190.9 pounds. When we started working together, I weighed 207 pounds. Like that was my float weight. I was weighing 206 to 209 is where I'd float. And I have noticed that just focusing on eating less processed foods and sticking to and slowly shifting from that to more whole single ingredient foods, I found that my energy is so much better to allow me to train, to allow me to be a better person. I feel better. My energy is not like crashing after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna give you the mic here in a second to ask questions, but how do you look at nutrition right now in terms of how you feel for workouts, the morning? Are you meal prepping? Or are you just kind of intuitive eating? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I am very intentional with my nutrition. I wouldn't say that 100% of my diet is whole food. I actually eat a ton. So I eat, depending on the training volume that I'm doing, I eat my daily is 500 carbs. On high training days, I could be 600 to 700. I'm getting, 4,000 plus calories in. And the thing is my weight, I'm not gaining weight. Like I've lost a little bit of weight this past year. I'm 220 to 240 protein, between 120, 150 fat. Like I eat a lot. And so to do that, I do, do a little bit of, candy or different things to get the carbs in, but I time it around training. I'm not just sitting at home popping candy all day. But no, we do meal prep. So we've used Factor for a while, and I feel better on a higher fat diet. I've done, low fat and different things. I mentally feel better. Feel like I have more energy.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. So I'm higher fat than a lot of people, and those Factor meals have higher fat. So I do that. And then, my wife and I are I got 50 pounds of bison in the freezer. We make a lot of, bison, rice and veggies, sweet potato veggies, that type of stuff. So yeah.
That's what's so weird is like that's quick. It's not like it takes forever.
No.
It takes you longer to sit in the drive-thru and wait to get through the other 15 cars waiting there than it does to put that together at home.
Yeah, for sure. My wife and I know the value of what we put in our bodies and what we feed on, and we know that affects so many different aspects. Not at all.
Right.
And so, I mean,
What you eat now?
even with our kiddos, like people are like, you feed them what? It's like, yeah, we feed them that.
Yeah.
We're not going to give them what you guys give your kids. Like, so we're very,
It's not like in a bad way. It's just like, hey,
No.
we just think differently. It's like, it's so imperative. They're saying, keep your torch lit. Sean Vasquez of Pride Foods. I podcast a while back with him just talking about that concept, like you keep your torch lit to help that for others.
Yeah.
If your torch isn't out, luckily you have your wife who can then bring yours and vice versa.
Yeah.
Two's better than one. Like I
Yeah,
get those concepts, but it goes beyond.
Mm-hmm.
You guys doing that with your kids then makes people go, well, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Does that help you then take your torch and go, here's a little bit for yours,
100%.
and then something in theirs changed. Where it's like, wow, my kid was bouncing off the walls and we took them off all this, that, and the other. Now they don't have that all the time. They have this, and hey, little Johnny's a little more calm at school too.
Yeah.
Who knew showing up to a gym could change everything in your day?
Yeah. I mean, we could go down a rabbit hole with that of screen time and, all the stuff that we feed kids. But yeah, we are very intentional in what we put in our bodies and do.
And the cool part, and I want to let you ask a question, is they let the kids hang out here, right?
Oh, yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
very cool. They let them run around. Like your daughter was sitting on the kettlebell rack the other day, like just very in tune with the environment. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
It's how it should be. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's funny on all the food stuff. Like, so like you eat more than me right now on our training volumes. I mean, I train 12 to 14 hours a week. I think that's like a good, that's like, I feel pretty good at that. I've tried to train more and felt really terrible. And if I train less, I also don't feel as good. Like there's kind of a sweet spot to everything. It's interesting because I used to, I ate and I had to, but I think of it like this. Your stress from business, family, everything else is higher, which forces energy expenditure even higher.
Yeah.
People I don't think always think about. It's not just your physical output.
No.
Your mental capacity on a daily basis forces you to have to keep food coming in.
Yeah.
If not, then we know it starts to happen. And then it's like, well, why do I feel like this?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed 2 meals yesterday. Oh, I missed a meal. Like, I think I need to bring some food back.
Yeah. 100%.
Very easy to just get busy and forget those things.
100%. Yeah. Like, for me, if I'm on vacation, I'll probably lose weight on vacation because like, I just don't eat. Like I'm not in the thing. So like, I have to force myself to get the food down. And like you see, as I'm sitting here, I'm moving around, like my total daily energy expenditure is up. But the thing I think for me too, like I played college basketball and then I never stopped training. Like a lot of former athletes, like boom, and then just completely down. I like have never stopped. It's been 10 years of constant. So my my basal metabolic rate's high. Like
the VMR is probably.
Yeah, like so that's why. And so but also we do nutrition coaching for our clients. So I understand nutrition and balancing all that. I'm never gonna tell somebody, oh yeah, I do 500 carbs, so you do it.
You should do that.
Like no. But I've done lower carbs and seen my performance be terrible in these workouts and training. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Oh, my sodium is way too low right now and I'm not getting enough carbs in. I bumped that up to this. Oh, and now I'm performing better and I feel better. So like I've played around with different things and I feel like I'm in a sweet spot right now. Yeah.
I think that's everybody has an optimal range that you get to. Like truth always reveals itself. It doesn't matter if you take 2 people on different sides of the planet, have them study the same thing for 50 years. At the end of that sequence, they're going to say a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
Not saying like this particular amount, but they're going to find patterns that they recognize for people.
Yeah.
It's, I would challenge that thought too, though. There's another part to that. So more food means more digestive load, means more stress.
Yeah.
What if you could actually get more off of less? Is there a way can people get more from less?
Yeah.
I remember asking Shane this growing up because I'd cut down really hard. I was living on like 1,800 calories.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
6 weeks. It was just for a wedding. Like we were getting ready for our wedding. And I was like, let's see what it's like. Let's just go all in. Like we'd been tapering down and we got to that last 6 weeks and I was working with the coach. I was like, hey, Justin, hey, I was like, can we push it faster?
Yeah.
He's like, cool, go die. Boom, drop the hammer. And I mean, it just came flying off.
Yeah.
My training stayed good. I hit bench press PRs.
Yeah.
I still was I was doing an hour a day of zone 2 work.
Yeah.
Training with weights 6 days a week. Nothing fell off. Everything continued to stay at a good level and even hitting PRs. I'd ask Shane later on, why was that? Because I was always told, like, the bigger I get, the stronger I get, the more I'm going to have to take more food in.
Yeah.
The more efficient you get moving, the better your threshold works. All those things usually require more food. He's like, well, think about your life. How much stress do you have right now? I was like, well, my internal stress is a lot lower because I'm doing the things that I promised myself I'm going to do. In turn, also, my fat levels were lower.
Yeah.
Whenever fat's lower, androgen receptors are higher. I'm being able to produce better substrates from my food.
Yeah.
I think there is a point to just get lean.
Yeah.
I was like, I just needed to, I was too big at that point in time.
Yeah.
And then it was, it's interesting. Food,
It
and
is.
it changes too. I'll never be able to do it that same way again.
Yeah.
I've tried. I can't do that same exact setup.
Yeah.
Same exact process.
And like it's not sustainable for long periods of time. Right.
No.
So yeah, it's interesting. I've messed around with like carb cycling, like really high, really low. And I've messed around with lower fat during this. I feel good. And I think for, performance in my family, my business, and then like HYROX can't take number one. It's like total wellness has to be number one for sure. So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Performance, I think, is indirectly tied to health.
Yeah.
If you chase one too far, things fall apart. When things start to fall apart, well, kiss your performance goodbye too.
Yeah.
You end up having argument every single night. Like, kids need this schedule, but wife thinks this is different. And you guys can't get on the same page. That's stress.
Yeah.
That's going to affect training. That's going to stress everything else. Why not just pull back on one thing? Have those conversations and actually say, hey, what do I need to do in this situation? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that, and then your training goes up. Same from food, everything else. It's just stressors.
100%.
Being able to manage it properly.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, that's I can't think of anything else to really talk about on that. I feel like we can go down a really deep rabbit hole with nutrition.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful with the nutrition. But is there any last follow-up questions as we kind of finish up the conversation?
Dude, there's so much from that. Like, yeah, this is the best podcast we've done yet. The $400 ticket was worth it.
I was just thinking that in the middle of this, I was like, I can't wait till I go home later and I get this like video
chopped it up.
I was like, I'm just going to put it in there. I'm going to listen to it. And so,
probably 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like this won't come out for probably 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Cause we got one coming up next week, Tuesday. And then, a couple of Tuesdays after that.
Oh,
So a couple days before Christmas.
Yeah. Let's get it.
It'll be
The
perfect.
Christmas episode. This is
Merry Christmas, everybody.
This is
Hopefully all of that was said, just, it's like a little nugget that you get to take and kickstart your 2026 the right way.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Well, that's it, Tanner. Thank you so much for being on Unfiltered Wellness. I'm Gabe Jacobo. Find me on TikTok at Gabriel Jacobo Jr., as well as YouTube and Instagram, GBlockJacobo. Austin, where can they find you?
It's always the same. You already know. Easy spot. We have one place. Go to Instagram, Austin.main_. Eventually I'll get on your level, but I'm working on it.
I know you are. And Tanner, plug it. Plug everything that you want to plug.
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram, Tanner Gregurich, but also follow our 3 gyms, Tulsa Training, Owasso Training, and Broken Arrow Training. We're on all the platforms too. But yeah, if you're in the Tulsa area and you're looking for a HYROX place to train, come and see us.
Yeah, they got awesome gear. All the HYROX gear. And I love the videos. I love the content you guys
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Thanks again for coming on here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. We'll have to do part 2s soon.
We will. Peace.